We can realize our vision only because of the hard work of everyone in this room who have a deep love, a deep vision, and a deep passion for who we can become as a community. Today I want to talk about two different frameworks, very different frameworks, different ways of seeing and organizing the world, and how they affect the way we realize our goals of building a more diverse and inclusive university. One framework has been with us for, say, 150 years, starting around the time this university was first formed. It grew out of the industrial era and has largely persisted through the post-industrial era. We'll just call this one the industrial, post-industrial era. The other framework has been emerging for, I think, about 30 years. And for the past 10 years, I think we begin to realize a kind of tectonic change in global history that this era is bringing about. I don't know what to call this one. We haven't named it yet. Let's just call it the networking era, connectivity era. The industrial and post-industrial system was and still is a tightly ordered through hierarchical distinctions and differences. The new era requires institutions to be porous, more flexible, continually connecting in new ways. Now, if I'm right about the historical change that we are experiencing right now, and I would bet the mountains on that one, we need to imagine a much more radical transformation, not only of diversity and inclusion, but of the whole. In the midst of this transformation, I believe education, higher education, must become a creative driver of change, of world making, even as it continues to do its good work of disciplined reflection. But to begin with, let me identify 4 goals that I think can guide our work. These goals will improve our institution in the era of our boxes, but also create space for our transformative dreams. The first goal is to expand student access and achievement. For students with the drive and talent, we must offer the resources and opportunities for them to thrive in an increasingly diverse and globally connected world. Our second goal is ethical leadership. I think this is, as you know, DU's essence. Students will be ethical leaders, and I mean by that world makers. That's the new era. If they are equipped with the skills and virtues to lead diverse and inclusive communities, organizations, and teams in a world that is constantly adapting and changing. Our third goal is to create what I call a polyculture, and I'm sure some will disagree with this term. Create a polyculture as we strive for a more inclusive campus. By polyculturalism, I mean the recognition that each of us embodies an array of identities, perceptions, differences, and assets. We can use these differences to build bridges. The fourth goal is to promote more research and scholarship on domestic and international diversity and inclusivity. This research, as we suggested in DU Impact 2025, will be increasingly collaborative and problem-based. For some time, DU has embraced the values of excellence, innovation, engagement, integrity, and inclusiveness. Well, occasionally I hear some say, maybe we need more new values. I think not. Truly realizing those values would be a wonderful thing. These are really strong values, and ones embraced by this community, even frankly when we fail to achieve them. First, demonstrating respect for one another that is predicated upon deep listening, that includes understanding history and shaping the future. Bold. I think we need to be bold. Bold with our work as scholars and teachers, students, learners, and doers. We need to understand the multiple forces of exploitation, marginalization, and disenfranchisement that many in this culture experience. And we need new solutions. Ideas developed with partners in this community and around the world. Embracing an approach of what I like to call utopian realism. The type of education we are doing is hard work. We will stumble more times than we get it right. Having powerful goals, embracing our values, so important in a time of change. Developing guiding principles are all really important, but they come alive in our actions. And by our actions, I mean recurring community practices that create and express the standards of inclusive excellence. Acknowledge and honor the fullness of our history. I think a lot that we need to remember history. We need to remember our history. We need to remember all of our history, including points of pride as well as times we have failed to uphold our values. Second, we will continue to weave diversity and inclusion into our very fabric. Third, we must support the fundamental claims of equity. Fourth, we're expanding our efforts to recruit a more diverse and inclusive student body for the benefit of all students, faculty, and staff in this institution. 5, we must focus on how students learn and how academic subjects are taught. 6, we will address our campus climate and our life together to improve it and transform it. 7, we must create a culture of accountability and stronger communication. Now, I invite you to talk, but more important, to listen, to really listen to one another. I hope you can discuss, are we in a new era? Are these the right goals? Would you add guiding principles? What are the other ongoing practices, not one-off actions, but practices? Communities are a set of practices we need to weave into the fabric.